Oh, hi guys. Elite Gamer here. Yeah, sorry, I was so absorbed in my book I didn't hear you lot come in. So yeah, I may as well let you guys into what I'm reading. Mighty Morph'n Power Rangers. So it comes with no consequence of anything as to what's going to be reviewed next in my list of TV series reviews, in addition to movies, books and video games, which will be this. But before I actually go into this review, based upon the original 93 series of Mighty Morph'n Power Rangers, you've got to ask yourself, is this program in any way the more phenomenal sensation which it was before? Or is it a nostalgic relic best forgotten? Well, let's delve into the program based upon the original premise of 5 to 6 teens who defended the world from constant chaos from Rita, Lord Zed and everything else that life threw at them. Let's take a look at Mighty Morph'n Power Rangers. Right, so here we have Mighty Morph'n Power Rangers, the original TV series from '93. The premise and plot of the program is pretty easy to follow from people who enjoyed it from all the years before when it first came out. The main premise of the series is based upon the unsolicited release of Rita Repulsa, who is accidentally released by astronauts who come onto the moon and accidentally awaken a space dumpster, in turn letting her out and her armada of an army of evil individuals, including Goldar and others. We then cut to Zordon, who is a very powerful individual who's stuck in a time warp, and obviously as he's in this time warp, to some extent there's a limit within reason in how far his abilities can go. Wasting no time, he has his aide and assistant Alpha 5, the android of the fabled command center, send out a distress signal for 5 teens. Anyway, once the illustrious teenagers end up putting in an appearance by being teleported to the command center, Zordon then tells them of his plight and asks them if they'll help him in doing battle with his old nemesis Rita Repulsa and whatever he or anyone else worse throws at them. At first, most of the people there, like Zack, Trini and Kim, they don't really want to know. Jason's the only one who really wants to make a difference, and as opposed to the rest of them being a bit too skeptic. And it's not long before all hell breaks loose, that they have a change of mind and accept the abilities given to them. And with one accord, they become the Mighty Morph'n Power Rangers. They start out as a team of 5, and later on in the series end up a team of 6 when Jason David Frank comes along, who played the original Green Ranger, and would later on go on to be the White Ranger. Obviously, Rita's not the only thing the Rangers had to worry about. Goldar's probably one of the most treacherous, dangerous and lethal henchmen of all time, and in addition to that, he's as determined and as driven as any of Rita's evil servants to see the Rangers destroyed. He's mainly assisted by the Putty Patrol, which have virtually no potential threat at all, as the Rangers are perfectly capable of handling them, whether as their normal selves, out of costume, or in the event they choose to morph. When things go too far, they end up combining all five Zords, to combine to make the Mighty Megazord. But even that sometimes doesn't get the job done. And when the Green Ranger comes into the picture and starts fighting for the side of good, they're able to combine their five Zords with the Dragon Zord to form Dragon Zord in fighting mode. Aside from fighting evil, the Rangers sometimes have to anticipate the annoyance of their school, which comes in the form of Bolt and Skull. Now, they're not the brightest duo in the box, but they do try to be the biggest school nuisance of all, but they come across to me as more comic bullies than intimidating. And as for two examples, when two of them try to go for Kim, she ends up jumping out in the way and they end up smashing into each other. On another occasion, when a Bolt goes up to Jason and tells him to teach him how to beat people up, to which Jason responds quite firmly, but totally unafraid of him. Karate and self-defense was not designed to hurt others. Bulk then goes into bravado mode, saying that anything Jason can do, he can do. So Jason calls his bluff and does a move, and then asks Bulk to try to do the move himself. Bulk barely imitates the move, and then Jason does a tornado kick and asks him to do it himself. Bulk tries to do the tornado kick, and as a result ends up tearing his trousers. On top of that, the only time that these guys ever really seemed to shine was in the Power Rangers episode a good few years down the line, not in this series division at all, Countdown to Destruction, where they see the Power Rangers morph and they're so motivated and confident they actually join in the battle, where all those years before they would have literally just turned tail and ran at the first sign of trouble. So now we're on to the pastimes of the Rangers when they're not in costume. So Jason gets a real good kick, pun intended, in teaching self-defense to people, to sort of increase their dexterity and stamina, agility, and at the same time he's made it quite clear, probably to most people before Bolt and Skull, that self-defense was designed to be self-defense, not to hurt others. Billy's probably one of the most academically advanced members of their team, and in addition to that, he's very bright. And one of the greatest things with him, when they first come to the command center, and they see Zordon, Billy goes, "Oh, are you like Obi-Wan?" And then Zordon turns around and goes, "Obi-Wan who?" So yeah, as I said, he's the most academic there is, and he's got a lot of tendency for talking in techno talk to some extent when he goes about it, and in one episode he turns around and goes to the group metamorphosis, to which most of them don't know what it means. Trini, the Yellow Ranger, is the only one who knows what he means, to which he goes, metamorphosis, it means to change. Zack's probably as proficient as anyone in what he does as well. In the series he teaches dancing to children, but at the same time he's got the greatest tendency of all, by not just doing a bit of self-defense in his spare time as well, but he's also got such a brilliant tendency to combine his dancing and fighting style into a style which is conveniently named Hip Hop Kido. Kimberly's the gymnast of the group, and she's very proficient again at what she does. She's just as determined as any of the Rangers to take Rita and anything else she throws at them down, and be the constant vigilance alongside her fellow Rangers that stand between Rita and her desecrating the world we know. Trini is very quiet. She tends to keep to herself. She's probably one of the few people who studies quite as constantly as Billy. And as I said, she's one of the few people alive who can actually understand him when he goes into techno talk. Okay, now for a bit of Power Rangers history, guys. Walter Jones, Thuy, Trang and Austin St. John were the original black, yellow and red Power Rangers, who were written out of the show after the 20th episode of the second season, and officially replaced after the 28th episode, following contract renegotiations with the show. Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Ranger, left to pursue new acting opportunities. David Yost, the original Blue Ranger, left the show during the Zeo series on the grounds of sexual harassment. He was often humiliated on the show's set, and the producers would ask the other actors questions about Yost's sexuality. Finally, Jason David Frank, the original Green and White Ranger, stayed with the show until the Turbo series, when he and 4 of the other current actors agreed to leave the show after learning of the show's producers' advertisements for a general casting call for new Rangers. Finally, I just need to say a little final word before I get to the rating of this on the Yellow Rangers. Here it goes. A bit of history, so to speak. Thuy Trang died on September the 3rd, 2001, near San Francisco, California, after a car accident. She was 27 years old. Trang and former actress model Angela Rockwood, Nigerian, to whom Trang was to be a bridesmaid in her then upcoming marriage to Dustin Nigerian, were passengers in a car travelling on Interstate 5 between San Francisco and Los Angeles. They were returning late at night from visiting Rockwood Nigerian's planned maid of honour when the driver of the vehicle she was riding in lost control. The car swerved violently across the railway before hitting into a huge rock, flipping the vehicle and killing all inside except the driver. She will always be remembered. Rest in peace, Thuy Trang. So how would I rate Power Rangers? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Back in the day, I'd almost go as far to say that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was just as big a thing as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had been. And again, it had other things to offer, not just in that self-defense was self-defense not for attack, but also that you had to do kinds of things to make the best of what you had. And if this show didn't bring you up to speed with so many things like that, I can't think of anything else that didn't. Especially on top of that, with the illustrious gadgetry they'd utilised to fight Rita and her almost seemingly endless supply of monsters. Like the power weapons they'd use, the different Zords. I think I'm going to have to give Mighty Morphin Power Rangers a 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. And again, Thuy, Trang, wherever you are, rest in peace, and God bless your soul. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, guys, and goodbye.